Hey Sagittarius, sorry I needed a drink. Welcome to my channel. It's December, guys. It has been 1 year since I started recording my videos. How cool is that? Sorry, what am I doing? I am not prepared right now. Okay. So, this is going to be a little bit different to what I usually do. I am using these three oracle throughout the reading and also 2 tarot decks. I'm not going to explain how I'm doing it. You'll just see when I'm doing it, right? But it will make sense to you, whatever I'm reading. I just feel like that one. There we go. Something was calling to me. I just couldn't grab it. That one. Right. So we have all had these two. We've all had that one card. So while I'm shuffling these rest of them, I will start talking about what this generally means. I'll talk more about it specifically to you when we get there. But basically, Mars is retrograding. I am getting this kind of... I feel like everybody's really sensitive to anything at the moment. So I guess, like, be aware of that. Mars retrograde, basically, that's when conflicts kind of all come up. Interesting. And I guess wars can happen during Mars retrogrades and, you know, large kind of tower moments. And what this kind of, I feel, just more mundanely of everyday to-day life of us normal kind of people, us normal weirdos that are actually very much not normal, but totally normal. I feel as though basically people are a little bit more sensitive. I can kind of sense this in communications that I have randomly and how I feel about other people when I'm kind of feeling very sensitive to kind of criticism sometimes a little bit, which I'm generally, I mean, I can be, but at the same time, I don't really care what other people think because my circle is extremely small, and why would you care what people outside your circle feel, right? They are not... They're not important. They don't matter. And I feel like that you may be extra sensitive during this time. I definitely can sense this with communications I'm having. So basically during this time, be aware of how you are responding to people. Are you feeling extra sensitive? Are you coming from a place that's prideful rather than really genuine feelings towards this? Like, does it really bother you that much? Or are you just snapping because it's like triggered this reaction in you, which maybe perhaps doesn't feel truly to yourself. These are things to be aware of during this time, and also be aware of with how other people are reacting. So don't react to them reacting, or else you're all just a big reaction in this Mars retrograde explosion, which is not remotely constructive, right? It's not going to get you anywhere pleasant in life. So, first card, we have protection. I love this card. I do feel it's very cute and nurturing, but I do get this sense that when it comes up, that it's a time when you, again, like I was just saying about feeling sensitive, it's being vulnerable, Sagittarius. And I do get this sense of you feeling this need of, I want to say it feels like you feel as though it would be nice to have somebody to carry you through what you're going through. We are going through a very independent period of time in our lives, where it's kind of like we all just have to do things for ourselves. It's a very positive kind of thing in many ways. It's about being independent. It's about kind of striving towards your goals and your aspirations in your life. And everyone's kind of driven to this freedom of getting what they desire and being pushed in that way. But this can come with very vulnerable feelings because at the end of the day, we are not meant to do things alone, but we have this drive for independence. And so this can be kind of, I won't say sad, kind of vulnerable sadness to it because it can make you feel as though you're alone. That's how I'm feeling here in this. But realize you're not alone. We are on a planet full of many people, humans, animals, and yeah, we all need each other at times. So I feel as though be kind to yourself and realize that. And acknowledge how you're feeling. And then I want to kind of say, I feel as though if you feel that you need to lean on someone for support and you're feeling alone, that usually starts with you having to reach out and acknowledge that and kind of put yourself out there. As somebody who is naturally a lonely person, in the sense of like I am very isolated in my life. I am just a single mom and my children are basically my everything. You kind of get in this place where, you know, I don't need anyone and I can do it myself and that kind of thing. That's not a healthy way to be in. But I feel like many of us get into that. And so that when we are feeling lonely, it's hard to actually reach out and, you know, just have a conversation with somebody and, you know, oh, I'm feeling vulnerable. Because that's emotional and nobody wants to feel like that in that moment. And I get this sense of needing to make sure that you are reaching out if that's something you're craving. Because the only thing that's stopping you from that in that moment is you restricting yourself and saying, I can't reach out, I can't lean on anybody. And that's just negative self-talk, that is just depression. You know, it's us keeping ourselves isolated, and that's not what we're actually craving, right? This card just literally just says this as well. Nothing will come from this situation. Void, of course, moon. So I do get this sense of darkness. Nothing's going to come from good is going to come from isolating and hiding yourself away. I do feel a sense of needing to celebrate and kind of enjoy the moment. I might need another drink. I get this sense of, again, a lone wolf. I do feel like you do need to socialize and get out there. I get this feeling of there being opportunities, and I would like you to kind of take on those opportunities. Again, nothing will come of this situation. I feel as though something that makes you feel vulnerable, that you are perhaps shying away from, is something that you might have to do the opposite. I kind of want to say it's kind of like opposite day. So make sure you're giving attention to the right things and not kind of suppressing the wrong things. I don't know why, it's just kind of coming through like that. So I hope that makes sense for you. Purity. So this is saying, again, be kind to yourself. Understand that you are innocent. And again, enjoy these moments. Purity really gives me this vibe of kind of flowing, and like there is literally somebody dancing in the snow in this imagery. I don't know if the lighting is going to let you see. But it's like dancing, being carefree. I want that for you, Sagittarius. I feel like this is a great time for you to really be embracing flowing with things. And I do get that it's a stressful time of year. And I can sense that that's kind of perhaps what's stopping you from enjoying yourself. But remember what this time of year is about. Right? From September up until February. Pardon me. I'm sorry. You're getting all of... I've just eaten chocolate before this. And I'm just like rushing. So I apologize for any burping and drinking I need to do. Anyways, I get the sense of it being stressful and that hindering you from being able to really enjoy this moment. But remember, from September through to February, this is a time of year of connecting with family, connecting with friends. The real true spirit of this time of year is enjoyment. It's coming together, community. And like if you feel you don't have that, it can be a very sad, stressful time. But it's always there. So for myself, like I literally only know my mom and her partner Jeff and my kids. Like that's my circle. There's no extra. However, there are that's what I would say. But you know, the community have Christmas parties. They do all sorts of within the community, and the park and things like that. So I would take my kids to these things. It gets me out. I do socialize and talk to people in the community. I do struggle to connect to people on a level where like I invite them in to be friends or anything. But you know, it's about socializing, getting yourself out there. That's where the only way you're ever going to make further connection. And I mean, for myself, I've been going through a separation, so I've not been in a space where I felt open to making new connections. But I do realize that that's something I need to do. And I feel like for yourself, Sagittarius, that's a vibe I'm vibing for you, is realizing that there are always opportunities, but the only way that you're ever going to, you know, get to that point is by nurturing yourself into that space, being your best ally, and making sure that you are taking care of those needs. And I do feel like you need to be kind on yourself throughout this. Don't let pride get in the way. So this card's come up for every single sign. I do feel like Mars in retrograde is creating this energy, and I feel like it comes with stubbornness. It comes with the I know what's right for me, I don't want to do anything else kind of energy. So be aware of that, because I do get this sense of something within yourself being kind of dark towards yourself, very much self-doubts or self-negative talk, that kind of thing. So be aware of that. Interesting. Okay, the next card, I kind of read this all weirdly, so it might not come, yeah, you might not hear all of the cards by how I'm reading this, so just listen to the guidance. We have the Ace of Swords reversed and the Star reversed. Let me see what I'm getting for you. I definitely feel as though there's a darkness that you're cutting through. I do feel like this is a process for you that it's like something negative or toxic in your life. You are kind of in this period of time where you are working on getting out of that. So again, I want kindness, but it does take action. I'm getting this keep needing to make sure that you are taking action. And I feel like with anything mental health wise, it's always great to lean on support and obviously get the help you need, 100%. But myself, I feel like, again, with any form of healing, like the body heals itself, the soul heals itself, it starts with number one. You have to be in a mindset of being ready and willing to take the steps. And that does not mean you have to literally wake up the next day and you're going to feel all better. It's literally baby steps. I've had little dark periods throughout my life because over the last 10 years, I've literally been pregnant and then raising kids, and I've done basically most of that alone. I've had a part of it, you know, he worked a lot and wasn't that great with kids overnight and things like that. So I've done a lot of this sort of thing on my own, which led me into kind of sad times at times, because sometimes being all of everything for everybody is just too much. I'm sharing this with you because it'll make sense of how I personally have got myself out of these moments. And I used to use this a lot when I was doing readings for people as help to help them understand what it takes kind of to just do something for yourself. It can be literally going to get the help that you need, obviously, but for me, what helped was literally little things. It was me realizing, so for me, I don't like being a domesticated person in the sense of literally wake up in the morning, make beds, do all the washing and all this kind of shit. That's not me. I'm more of a chill kind of person. I like to get out. I need to nurture myself. I'm a Taurus, so it's like taking care of my self-care first. Obviously my children first and then myself, but it's like having a routine. So I will now get up, I will, you know, help the kids with breakfast, make myself a drink, like I'd have a shake for my breakfast. It's the only way I can shake on the go on the way to school. And what I mean is, like, I'll get myself ready, I'll get the kids ready, nothing is cleaned or anything before I get home from school. Like, I'll then walk them to school, we'll go to school, and we come home, and then I need to chill for a little bit because I've just walked all this way, and I need to chill, it's hot, and it's chill downtime. I don't even think about doing anything else now. But at one time a day, I would have been waking up 5 in the morning, I'd have been doing stuff and wearing myself down to the point where I'm like, who is this person? I'm not taking care of my own needs and my own energy of how I work in the world. So it's taking those steps to realizing that, hang on, I need a routine that works for me. So it was just little things like I refuse to do anything when I first get up, and then when it comes to like 6, 7, 8 in the night, unless I feel like it, I will generally not do anything until the next day, because pots can wait. You know, they're not going anywhere. It doesn't hurt anybody, other than it might hurt your own feelings if you're one of those people that can't stand to have that sitting there waiting, because everybody works differently. We all have different minds. But how I am, it's like I need to have downtime. I need to feel like there's something that's nurturing my soul rather than just work, right? So it meant me saying, you know, no, I'm not doing anything now. I'm going to watch an episode of this. I'm going to take a shower on my own. I'm going to do this. I'm going to read a book. It's little kind of steps that cut out your darkness and give something back to yourself. Because sometimes we get that lost in giving energy to everything else but what we need, that we actually are not in tune with ourselves. Like, as a human, we are supposed to be a spiritual being. We are very intelligent. We can function beyond a lot of what other animals can do, to the state where we can be guardians of them. We can be guardians of the earth if we actually put our mind to it, because we are that advanced kind of being, right? We can feel, we can empathize, we can nurture things into existence in a way that other animals may not be able to do, right? And I feel as though that comes with knowing ourselves too. When you are in tune with yourself, you know when something's not right. You'll know when you need more rest. You know you're tired, and it's about listening to those parts of our body, and that prevents getting yourself into a dark space. So yeah, I hope that makes sense for you. I feel like I went off on a little bit of a tangent there talking about this, but I feel like, again, taking these baby steps for yourself is really, really important, Sagittarius. Dare to dream. I do feel as though the energy that you're in right now is stopping you, like making you feel as though nothing is possible. I know I can relate that I've had moments like this where it's just like, no matter what I do, it's like I always have hope, and I always try and keep hold of hope. It makes me feel all emotional, so I can feel my eyes already starting to tear up, because I'm someone that actually believes that anything is possible if you put a mind to it, right? But having moments where everything you try is just, someone else poops on it, or it doesn't work out, and you're like, then what am I supposed to be doing? I feel this here, and it can kind of squish this, not daring to dream, not wanting to kind of wish for anything, and just living in the moment. And I feel like you need to come out of yourself here. The crossing energy with this is the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles can indicate, being kind of on the outside of something. And I feel as though, again, you are really detached from your essence. And this is the energy that's crossing the and I feel like this is what you need to change. And I get this sense of you really having to consciously change this, but in a nurturing way. I'm going to be moving around with this reading as I'm doing it. We have Judgment here, and the Judgment card in this deck is very much about nurturing yourself into kind of a better space. That's how I mean, look at her. She's beautiful. Right, upright, and I feel like you're going to get to this spot. I feel like self-care is literally your best friend during this time. I feel like you really need to take care of your needs. And this means enjoying the moments. I feel like a lot of stubbornness needs to be shifted from you. And yeah, cocooned with this kind of blanket of love. This Judgment card gives me that. So judge yourself kindly. I do feel as though everything else will be taken care of. Your focus needs to be upon yourself. Again, hardships. I feel like the crossing energy it's drooping off of you. It's moving away from you. So take comfort in that. You are moving away from it. The sword and the Ace of Swords is cutting through the darkness. It's bringing light in its kind of tail within this deck as well. And even the star, it's like you're just on the outside of that brightness. Which means I literally just feel like it will not take too much to get you from that space, but it literally takes those baby steps. And I feel like structure, for some reason I just called structure come to mind. I do think a good routine could be really beneficial to you, something a bit more structural. Perhaps you have come and kind of gotten out of a routine that was really beneficial for you in a stage of your life. Have a think on that and how you might be able to implement aspects of that in your today's life to get you back into feeling like you are on top of the world. We have the Eight of Cups in reverse and the World card in reverse. So the Eight of Cups in reverse, I feel as though you've done a lot of letting go, a lot of kind of shadow work. I do feel like that's something you've been going through. Now, understand that when we go through the shadow work side of things, it really can be a very vulnerable time. It can feel chaotic. It can feel scary, and it can bring all of our fears and insecurities to the surface. And I feel like you've been through the hardest times of that. And this is saying, you're now on the rebuilding side of things, which is really great. I'm loving that. The World in reverse, I feel as though you already have everything that you need. There's not something specific you need to go for. I feel like focusing on the now is kind of where you'll find that contentment. I do feel as though that's a realization as well. I feel that it's something about searching, something about looking within to think about what truly matters to you, and then seeing if you actually already have that, and how I get the sense of changing a mindset. So I'm going to use an example so this makes sense of you. So let's say you're all down, but what matters most to you is spending time with your family and kind of your children, that kind of thing. I'm going to say that. you already have that. You have your family, you have your children. You can do that whenever. So appreciating that side of things, changing some kind of mindset to realize that what you truly want most is what you already have. And I feel like with that acknowledgement can really be a game changer in hopefully better days, just more purely for your kind of feeling and then doing what you need to do to get you into a better space. Kind of interesting. Okay, so next. Okay. So I feel as though there's been a lot of loss in terms of love. I do get the sense of heartache, maybe in relationships, but I don't feel like it's like a breakup recently. I mean, it could be, but I get the sense of like maybe having been single for a long time or taking time to get over a relationship, whether you've been with people or not since. I just feel that there's something specific that was quite a while ago that has really kind of kept you in a certain space. I feel like that's a big influence for you at the moment. And the crossing, that's with this dare to dream. I feel as though you just, it's like thinking that that's not possible for you. Like maybe I should be happy to be single always. Now the energies in the air are supporting single life. It's supporting independence. So if relationships that you've been with didn't serve you for your highest good, perhaps you got with toxic people or you were just wrong for each other, that kind of vibe, like they're going to drop away from you during this time. There's no holding on to anything because you are not happy, they are not happy. That's just going to naturally what flows here. And I feel like, so there's this sense of you feeling like maybe I'm just not meant to have that happiness. That's not true at all. And I feel like here we have the High Priestess in reverse is the crossing energy. It's just like you are manifesting this because you are believing in what you're telling yourself. There really is this stubborn mentality that I feel like you need to realize that the thoughts that you have is what you're creating in your day-to-day life. And you might not be ready for somebody else yet. You might not be ready to be in a relationship. But if you are allowing that to make you sad and to kind of bring this, be a highlight, you are basically pushing any opportunity of that potentially coming into your life again. Because you're telling yourself it's not possible. So be aware of that. Because as an example for myself, I am in a space where I feel like, as in being, I'm going to get really personal with you here, but getting naked in front of somebody else, like I was with my husband for 10 years, the idea of getting naked with somebody else kind of really freaks me out a little bit, which is really strange because I've never felt like that. But I mean, I've had kids and all that kind of thing since I was obviously with anybody else. So the idea of that in myself makes me feel like, ooh. And I feel like, so I potentially would be blocking any of that. I'm not really interested too much in that just in this moment. But what I'm saying is that should that happen, it's a massive insecurity. So I feel like I am sending that signal out there, like, don't touch me, don't look at me, I'm not a sexual entity, and that kind of vibe. And I feel like this is what that's sort of saying, is like whatever it is that you're vibing, that you're feeling insecure about, is what you're sending out here. And this High Priestess energy is saying you're creating the world that you are living in. And I do feel like you have lots of abundance. You have so much growth surrounding you, and you've grown so much in this year. I do want you to look on that. This is my favorite time of year. Like the next reading that I do, the monthly reading, so for January, I get all excited because we're making changes. We're doing all these New Year's resolutions. It's the one time of year where the entire world kind of starts creating that magical energy of change, of wishes, of hopes, of dreams. That's coming. So we're manifesting greatly in this time. So realize that. It starts with gratitudes. Again, this time of year is all about gratitudes, and that's going to help you getting to that mindset of what you are manifesting. So I do feel like it could be beneficial for you to kind of write down what it is that you have, what you're grateful for, what you would desire, what you dream of, and just make sure you get a lot of gratitudes in there and a lot of love, adding more love to your intentions. Because I feel as though you will attract exactly what you are craving as soon as you get into the right headspace. Okay. So in here, no, we're not in future space just yet. I feel like I pulled a lot more cards for you than I did other readings. We have 4 of Cups reversed, and we also have 6 of Cups reversed. So I do get the sense of moving away from that kind of feeling of empty cup, which is really good. This is heading towards future, but it's not future. I feel like this is the energy that you're in. Like I say, I've got more cards with you, so I'm reading this kind of differently to the other readings. I don't know why there are more cards here, but there's a reason. And I feel like it's because you are moving away from that. With 6 of Cups in reverse, I feel as though, again, you're not... So the upright, I just feel like the 6 of Cups would be like growing something out of who you are. But I feel as though this is, again, the realizing of what you've grown and how far you have come. I feel like you realize that your cups are already full into most of your aspirations. And perhaps that's why you're feeling a little bit confused, because it's like, I have everything I want. Why am I not happy? And I feel like, again, this is just a process that you're supposed to go through during this time to realize that. I do feel nurturing that will be a great asset to you. Because I'm feeling all these butterflies. I do feel new beginnings, but it doesn't feel as though it's brand new. Again, it's like working on something you already have. I do feel new perspective. New way of seeing something, new way of being, new way of something. Just something new, but to do with what you already have, Sagittarius. And I'm moving away from something. Interesting. So these 2 cards are your future position. We have 2 of Cups in reverse. Okay. So I do feel as though there are connections ahead of you, but I don't feel like this is something that like immediately is there for you. If you're already in a relationship, I think that this is basically signifying that things will stay the same. That's all I'm getting from that. If you do have a new relationship, it could be someone that you have known for a while, so it's like not a new connection. I don't feel like there's going to be new connections for you in the most immediate, and I don't feel like that's where your priorities should be either. And I feel like that's what this reading is saying, that you should not be focusing on another person, focusing on yourself. I do feel as though if you are in relationships, there could be a dynamic of, again, Mars in retrograde. I feel like that could be influencing some kind of conflicting here. Sagittarius, yours is not a great reading. It's a bit like, come on, let's get out this darkness. It is a good reading. It's very positive in the larger scheme of things, but, you know. The 6 of Wands, don't listen to the thoughts and opinions of others is what I want to say for this. I do feel as though, again, what you should be striving for is independence, is something within yourself. I feel like stop looking on the outside, look within, and that you have everything you need already. I don't think this is the best time to start anything new at all for you. It's all about nurturing what you already have. I would say that if you are wanting to seek something new, it might take a little bit more work than what you would like during this time, because I really feel like the energies are all supporting you, working with yourself, working on something that is going to kind of nurture the essence of you, which is really cool. That is generally a theme at the moment, is everyone needs to start focusing on themselves a little bit more. It's kind of like if you focus on other people too much, you again burn yourself out, and then the kind of influence that you offer other people is a little bit more of a toxic version of yourself, because you are not feeling fueled. You're not fueling your own self. You're not taking care of your own needs, right? And I definitely get the sense like in your future self, it's about still making sure you're focusing on yourself. And I do feel like that's the space that you're in now. Let's have a look at the crystals that are beneficial to you. We're almost done with your reading. So, malachite would be good for you. Desert jasper and smoky amazonite. I don't think I've seen smoky amazonite before. Okay, smoky amazonite is abundance. Abundance. I do feel like you are surrounded by abundance right now, and again, it's gratitude and kind of seeing it for yourself. There will be a resolve. Again, I just feel like you are really coming out of your shell. You're really coming out of something. So I know a lot of this reading kind of had this kind of sense of heaviness, but it doesn't feel like that to me. It feels very much uplifting in the sense that you are coming out of this, which I'm loving. I need to read this word because I don't know what it means. Eudaimonia? I'm sorry, guys. I'm really terrible with words. And it's not going to see because now it's about to rain, so my light's getting a lot darker. Maybe if I... No, because the light's there. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. But I feel like here we have a lot of strength. I feel like you have a lot of strength with you. And yeah, things are going to be better and abundance is ahead of you is what I do feel like. But I feel like you have everything. You have the abundance. You have exactly what it is that you desire. I just really feel a mindset shift for you, Sagittarius, but I feel like this shift is happening. Whether you do take the steps or not, this is happening anyway. But obviously this is guidance. This is productiveness. We're giving you insights into what can help you shift through these energies a lot more easier. Right? That's where we go for a reading, so we can have some guidance and know kind of what we're working with, right? So thank you so much, guys, for being here. Please comment below if you have any questions. Please subscribe to my channel. I am hoping to have a kind of bonus Christmas thing, but we will see. I am a single mom, so I've got to work with that. So thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you next week.